China economy strong. Building strong economy for China, for China. Yes, this is Argent Templar. As we continue to document the strongest country on Earth, creating the strongest economy on Earth, the strongest economy that any country has ever had. This is China economy strong. Yes. So, China built a bridge to nowhere in North Korea. The bridge was supposed to be a key trade link be a key link for trade and travel between China's underdeveloped northeast provinces. That's kind of interesting because they used to be the most developed part of China back when Japan occupied them. In a much touted special economic zone in North Korea. So key that Beijing sank more than $350 million into it. Well, they don't understand how cash multipliers work, so that $350 million generated $1 billion for China in paying construction workers because China run on Keynesian economics. In fact, Keynes was actually Chinese, and even if he wasn't Chinese, he stole his work from some Chinese economic philosopher. He stole it because this could only make sense in the context of really awesome Keynesian economics. And that could only make sense, it could only be successful if it was made by China. Because only Chinese things make sense, because otherwise Keynes would just be a foreign devil. So, they sank $350 million into it, which they probably could have spent in some other areas, but that would not have increased GDP growth as much. Like they could have maybe like helped some people who were super poor, or like made it so some of the workers could work a couple hours less and maybe not die by the time they're 24. Maybe do a couple safety inspections. But no, they decided to do the smart thing and improve GDP growth by 0.5% by building a bridge to North Korea so that North Korea could get the benefits of China economy strong. So an Associated Press, which is run by reactionaries in the West, television news crew in September saw nothing but a dirt ramp at the North Korean end of the bridge, surrounded by open fields. No immigration or customs buildings could be seen. Roads to the bridge had not been completed. Apparently, North Korea economy not strong as China's. Yeah, apparently North Korea's economy isn't strong. The much-awaited opening of the new bridge over the Yellow River came and passed on October 30th, with no sign the link would be ready for business anytime soon. This prompted an unusually sharp report in the Global Times, a newspaper associated with the Chinese Communist Party. Do you even need to say that? Is there like a newspaper in China that's not affiliated with Communist Party control? I guess the ones Rupert Murdoch owns. Quoting residents of the Chinese city of Dandong, expressing anger over delays in which they had hoped would be an economic boom for their border city. Literally, China economy strong. Bridge was supposed to make Dandong strong as China economy. But it didn't make Dandong strong unless maybe like the contractors there through the cash multiplier made it strong. The report suggests that the opening of the mammoth 3 kilometer, holy fuck, 3 kilometer bridge has been postponed indefinitely. Beijing and Pyongyang have made no official comment except to say that China economy strong, and don't you forget it. Foreign analysts have suggested the apparent lack of progress might indicate wariness in Pyongyang over China's economic influence in the country, which has been growing substantially in recent years as Pyongyang has become more isolated from other potential partners over its nuclear program, human rights record, and other political issues. Given the fact that like 40% of the population is chronically malnourished, and like 20% of the children in North Korea suffer severe growth problems because of how little food there is, combined with the fact that the government's blowing money on shit like nuclear program when they can't even feed their people, and that in the hospitals they have to use Coke bottles as stints. I think there's like bigger problems. Since its founding, North Korea has been exceedingly cautious of becoming too dependent on China or Russia, preferring to prey them off against one another. This by that, I mean, it won't change the fact that their country is literally like the second worst place to live on Earth after Somalia. The official media, while saying little about business with China, have been attempting to play up the importance of trade and political ties with Moscow. Let's see here. Better ties with Moscow could dilute Beijing's leverage over the North, which became apparent when the North went ahead with its first nuclear test in 2006. Beijing has repeatedly urged North Korea to abandon nuclear weapons to no avail. Look at that. Look at how shitty that looks. That looks absolutely like horrific. The Korea-China friendship bridge. China and Korea, best friends forever. No one better friends than China, Korea. Or something like that. Pyongyang has moved ahead with several major construction projects of its own, including the capital's new international airport and high-profile housing projects. Who the fuck would want to fly to North Korea? The bridge, which from the start appears to have been of more interest to China than to North Korea, is intended to provide a new connection between Dandong and the Special Economic Development Zone in North Korea's Sinuiju. More broadly, China wants to develop inroads with North Korea that will allow its landlocked northeastern provinces access to North Korean ports so its goods can be exported or shipped down the Chinese coast more cheaply to make China economy strong. The old bridge, built in 1937 by the Japanese, well, of course the Japanese did it. The Japanese actually did a lot of development in China and Korea. I know people don't want to hear it, but they actually did build a lot of shit. Largely just because shipping raw materials back to Japan wasn't always the best option. So doing a bit of manufacturing could save them a lot of trouble. Like just shipping the crops back wasn't really working, so they like refined them a bit. So they had to build some infrastructure for that. Pyongyang says it is still keen on boosting foreign trade. North Korean officials say the bridge is part of an element of an ambitious plan to bring foreign trade and investment to a particularly strategic corner of the country. That sounds like bullshit to me. Let's see here. Much of which is still farmland, have yet to materialize. Okay, so it's a special economic zone where like capitalism is allowed, but it's just like a bunch of guys and cows. Although they probably ate the cows, so it's just probably empty grassland. But one of the North Korean government administrators for the new zone, Kim Hak-yong, told APTN that hopes for Sinuiju's future remain high. North Korea economy strong. North Korea become strong economy like China. Exactly. He added that North Korea may also simply be waiting for China to chip in more money. Well, I think this like shows the amazing friendship between North Korea and China. I think it shows the competency and planning of the Chinese government, who obviously put a lot of thought into this and made sure North Korea was on board. It's not like they just built this bridge and North Korea's like, what the fuck? Why did you build this bridge? And North Korea was completely baffled and was completely unprepared to take advantage of it. No, this was important plan to make economy strong and to show that North Korea and China best friends forever, something like that. So this is the bridge to nowhere in China, which looks like a complete monstrosity, and the North Korean side looks like something you'd see in Somalia in the 1920s. This is Argent Templar, and I will sing you out with a different song today. China and North Korea, best friends forever. From Pyongyang to Beijing, friendship blooms fully in spring. China economy strong, North Korea economy merely strong. Not as strong as China economy, but strong nonetheless.